for today's episode, we will be talking about Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks as we continue our team preview series. We also have our quick timer thoughts, and our player focus will be LaMelo, the dime dropper ball. And we still have, of course, the top 5 plays of the night. Yes, sir. The Dropping Dimes podcast by J.I. Dimes starts right about now. And so, welcome back, Dimers. And for anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit on the notification bell and choose always so that you can follow all the episodes of the Dropping Dimes podcast. If you like the video, kindly click on the like button, comment your thoughts, and share the video as well. Again, we'll be talking about the Dallas Mavericks as we continue the team preview series of the Dropping Dimes podcast. You can follow us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Spotify, and also on Anchor. And so we now go to our first segment. Sir, the quick dimer thoughts. This is how we dime. So for our quick dimer thoughts, we will be talking about this guy. Yes, sir. He's special. He looks like a star. LaMelo Ball. The Hornets finally got themselves a star. MJ was finally gifted by the basketball gods. LaMelo Ball has been balling this offseason. So even though this preseason rather, and even though they're not really winning a lot, just by simply watching him, he is just a heck of a player. And just like what I said, it took 2 games for people to realize that he should have probably been the number 1 pick. Okay, so a lot of praises for LaMelo Ball, and I myself is very high on this kid. The vision, the elite passing, you don't just see that every day. And then the swag, the confidence. It's like LaMelo is like Lonzo, but with all the swag. Whatever Lonzo... the problem with Lonzo is that he's a little too quiet, and sometimes he obviously loses his confidence. For LaMelo, it's all about swag, man. This guy has all the swag in the world. And to be very honest, I am so excited to watch this kid ball this season. So good luck to LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, so let's now proceed to the Dallas Mavericks. Follow them at Dallas Mavs on Instagram. What are the main storylines? Of course, they have Luka Doncic, and they still have Boban Marjanovic. They re-signed Trey Burke. They also drafted Josh Green, the defensive specialist from Arizona. As mentioned, they have Luka. Yes, in Filipino we call it nakakaloka, but for me it's nakakaluka. And then you have Kristaps, Porzingis. I'm starting to get worried because he's getting too injury prone, but I hope he gets he puts together a healthy season. They also brought back Willie Cauley-Stein, JJ Barea. What a nice gesture by Mark Cuban to sign him and then to waive him so that he can already retire and still get the money. Dwight Powell and Tim Hardaway Jr., crucial pieces for them. They also added former Philadelphia 76er and Miami Heat player Josh Richardson. And the best kept secret, yes sir, Maxi Kleber. Yes, they call him the best kept secret in basketball. And I hope he continues to ball because he's on my fantasy team. Okay, so let's proceed to the stats. So these are the stats of the Dallas Mavericks last season. They were 7th in the Western Conference. They had a 43-32 record. They lost to the LA Clippers, partly because they also lost Kristaps Porzingis in the latter part of that series. Their coach is champion coach Rick Carlisle. Executive is Donnie Nelson. Look at the offense. My goodness, third in points per game, and then they're also pretty decent defensively at 16. The question, of course, for the Mavs, it's not like if they have a problem with it, but a lot of people were kind of questioning maybe they lack those so-called dogs or tough guys, and maybe that's the reason why they drafted a guy like Josh Green, and brought back guys like Willie Cauley-Stein, got guys like Josh Richardson to address that problem. In terms of their pace, they were only 18th, but that's really because again, the Rick Carlisle teams also love to move the ball a lot. Who cares if they're 18th in pace if they are first in offensive rating? And they were also 18th in defensive rating. But in spite of that, the expected win-loss for Luka in the Mavs last year was 49-26, and they ended up with 43-32. Okay, so let's proceed now to the next one. Okay, so this is the schedule for the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, they already played 2 exhibition games, and that's it. They won against Milwaukee. They lost to Minnesota a while ago, 129-127. Then they'll be playing Phoenix, the Phoenix Arena to open their season, and second game of the season at the Staples Center against the defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers. Luka versus LeBron. That would be nice. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. A lot of questions when it comes to not having enough dogs on the team. Guys who are tough, defensive-minded. And how did Mark Cuban and Donnie Nelson address the problem? They brought in guys like James Johnson, Josh Richardson, Wes Iwundu. Drafted guys like Josh Green, Tyler Bay, and then even got Tyrell Terry. So all of these guys address that issue, and hopefully, there will be immense improvement coming from the Mavericks when it comes to their defense, and more than anything else, their toughness as well. Now let's proceed to the key returning players. Wow, there are tons of key returning players here. Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Boban Marjanovic, Dwight Powell. The best kept secret, Maxi Kleber, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Willie Cauley-Stein, Trey Burke, and Jalen Brunson. So all of these guys are quality players. Again, what really worries me though is the health of Kristaps Porzingis. He is obviously the number 2 guy on this team behind Luka Doncic, who I, by the way, predict to be league MVP this season as long as he stays healthy. But of course, it can't be Luka alone. Kristaps is also a very important piece for the success of the Dallas Mavericks. So now let's go to their team stats. Again, to focus on the team stats, all we have to look at is the fact that Dallas is super efficient offensively. That's it. They're like the best offensive team, and that's the reason why they were able to really, if not for the Porzingis injury, that series against the Clippers could have gone 7. And if let's say they played a game 7, especially with Luka Doncic on the floor, anything could have been possible, So I like the fact that they know what they need to bring in, and they brought them in. They brought in guys like the James Johnsons of the world, the Josh Richardsons of the world, drafted a guy like Josh Green. All of them can address the problem, the lack of toughness, the lack of defense. That will be addressed this season for the Mavs. Now, for the player stats, look at those Luka Doncic numbers. Oh my goodness. Can't really say anything. You know what's funny about it? When we look at the Doncic numbers, it's like I still can't believe that 2 years ago people were doubting if he could even translate in the league. and it just took Luka, all Luka needed was to be on the floor. And everyone, when Luka started balling, everyone joined the bandwagon already. No one would ever question if Luka could ever translate into the league. I think that's the main focus that we should look at. Of course, we have to also consider, again, the health of Kristaps Porzingis is very crucial for this team. The numbers that guys like Finney Smith, the Maxi Klebers, or the Dwight Powells, and also Tim Hardaway Jr., very important, because they're like the supporting cast. Dallas has drafted really well. So just imagine getting Jalen Brunson in the second round, quality backup point guard, a winner, a guy who just knows how to play. And then Trey Burke. Trey Burke has really found his niche here with the Mavs. I'm happy for him. He's playing well as a guy that, is a bucket getter, which he has always been. Okay. So now let's go to my thoughts and predictions. Yeah, so these are my thoughts and predictions for the Dallas Mavericks this coming season. They finished 7th last year. I don't think they will be finishing 7th, especially with, yes, mark my words, MVP Luka Doncic playing for the Mavs. I expect the Mavs to be an elite team. If that defense just improves, they can even be better than, the struggling Clippers, or they can really surprise teams here. They can be as good as Denver. The only team that's really like, or has separated themselves from the rest is like the Los Angeles Lakers. But then everybody else, Dallas can go as high as 2 if they want to. Right? I don't care if you say that, well, the Clippers are there. No. The Denver Nuggets, Dallas can be as good as them as well. Then you may say, well, Houston, well, Harden is going to be out in a while. So they're gone. Forget about them. So, Dallas is really looking good. You may say, well, Portland is still there. Yeah, but then are they really better than the Mavs? So I really like the chances of Dallas here. They might be like the surprise number 2 or number 3 team in the Western Conference, even though I'm seeing a lot of analysts, Sports Daily News, making these power rankings. They're not so high on the Mavs, but I'm always high on them because they have Luka Doncic. And I feel like Luka is going to be the face of the NBA eventually. He's that good. He's that skilled. Okay, so hopefully everything turns out well. Their defense improves. Worst case scenario, they'll still make the playoffs, but then it will be, here, probably 7th again. That can be their worst case scenario, but I don't see that happening, especially with some of the teams already falling off, like the Rockets, the Thunder, and then these emerging teams like the Suns. They're not better than the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, so that's it for my thoughts and predictions. And with that, it's time to go to the top plays. Yes, sir, top plays of the night. So let's now proceed to the top plays of the night. At number 5, who do we have at number 5? None other than Luka Doncic. Oh, the give and go. making it look too easy. Luka Doncic just enjoying himself. Look at this. Simple basketball, fundamental basketball, but effective. Now let's go to number 4. At number 4, who do we have at number 4? Oh, we have Bogdanovic, and the bank is open. Yes. When we talked about the Jazz yesterday, Boji, 20 points per ball game. And if he keeps on making these bank shots, it will happen again this season. The bank is very much open for Bogdanovic. Now let's go to number 3. At number 3, we have Andrew Wiggins. With a nasty alley-oop pass to Marquise Chris. Let's see that once more. Wiggins to Chris. Bang. Now let's go to number 2. At number 2, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Look at this. James Johnson. Oh, the touch pass by James Johnson. Nifty pass. And look at how slim James Johnson is. Oh my goodness, guy is really in shape, you know. The Miami Heat culture really worked well for James Johnson. Nice pass. How about a touch pass? Okay, and then of course at number 1, here we go again. We have the Sacramento Kings once again. Here's my guy, Kyle Guy. Oh, going to Richaun. Oh, my goodness. Kyle Guy to Richaun Holmes. Don't do him like that, Richaun. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Richaun Holmes posterizing Marquise Chris. And those are the top 5 plays of the night. Yes, so now we go to our shout-outs. Yes, special shout-outs to my former student, one of my best students ever, Andre Roque. Very supportive, and I hope everyone can also support him. Follow his channel, Andre Roque, and his band as well. Okay, and then Kenneth. Okay, Kenneth, also my student, asking for a shout-out. And then Marshy. Okay, classmate of MA Wizard, always supporting the podcast. Thank you as well. And of course to our major sponsors, Snuggle Moments PH. The Snuggle is real for all your matchy pajamas and slippers. And then of course another major sponsor, Yo and Yes, to love and inspire. Thank you also to House of Spice Manila. As I've mentioned before, all the products are super legit. And to Andre, thank you. Thank you very much for always supporting the podcast. Kenneth and also Marshy. And also special shout outs to my main man from T-Shirt Printing Manila, Sir Banjo Hoson, who is a big Dallas Mavericks fan ever since. And also to my former classmate in high school. He is such a Dallas Mavericks fan that he wanted to draft all the Dallas Mavericks players in the Fantasy League. Yes, shout out to Greg Villanueva. Good luck, brother. Lapit na mag-start ang ating Fantasy League. And so, there you go. So before we end the episode, again, if you are just new to the channel or if you haven't done it yet, click on the subscribe button and hit on the notification bell. Click always so that you can follow all the episodes of the Dropping Dimes podcast. Like the video, comment your thoughts, and share the video as well. Okay, so with that, we end our episode. We will continue the team preview series. We will have 2 straight Eastern Conference teams in the coming days. And how many days before Christmas? 7 days before Christmas, and just a few more days before the NBA season starts. Okay, so with that, see you on the next episode of the Dropping Dimes podcast. This is J.I. Dimes saying, nakakaluka ka talaga. Mr. Doncic. Keep safe, everyone.